Very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television, the perfect show to kickstart your day, bringing you the top national, international, sports and business news. I am Ashwarya and these are the headlines. Exceptional gesture for Prime Minister Modi in Sweden. In a first, Swedish Prime Minister receives him at the airport. Both leaders to discuss ways to strengthen cooperation in areas including innovation and defence during their talks later today. First India-Nordic Summit today to discuss how technologies and innovations can take forward India's flagship initiatives including health and skill development. Prime Minister Modi to hold bilateral talks with the heads of 4 other Nordic countries. Battle lines are drawn as nomination process for the Karnataka polls begins today. BJP has released a list of 154 candidates so far. Resentment in Congress over ticket distribution. Assembly polls for 224 seats on 12th of May. World Bank forecasts a growth rate of 7.3% for India this year. Says country's economy has recovered from effects of note ban and GST. 7.5% growth forecast for the next 2 years. And India summons Pakistan Deputy High Commissioner over attempts to incite Indian pilgrims visiting Pakistan. Asks Islamabad to stop activities undermining its sovereignty and territorial integrity. The top story this morning, Sweden rolled out the red carpet for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Swedish Prime Minister personally welcoming him at the airport. This was a rare gesture as this is the first time that the Swedish Prime Minister has welcomed any foreign dignitary personally at the airport. A packed day awaits Prime Minister Narendra Modi today, including bilateral talks with the Swedish Prime Minister, the first India-Nordic Summit, and also talks with the leaders of other Nordic countries. The Prime Minister is on a 5-day visit to Sweden, UK and Germany. Here is a report.
An exceptional gesture reserved for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Swedish Prime Minister Stefan Löfven receiving Prime Minister Modi at the airport on arrival in Stockholm. Modi is the first visiting foreign dignitary ever to get this welcome from the Swedish Prime Minister. This is also the first prime ministerial visit from India to Sweden in 30 years. The last being in 1988 when then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi visited. Prime Minister Modi also met with people of the Indian community upon arrival.
We are very excited to see him. बहुत मजा आया उनको देख के. Him again tomorrow again, and we are excited to hear him tomorrow. I must say that. So it feels wonderful, great experience.
मोदी जी का जो उद्देश्य है सभी देशों में घूम के वहाँ के तकनीकी क्षेत्र और वहाँ के यूनिक आइडियाज़ को हमारे देश में लागू करना और डिजिटलाइजेशन के माध्यम से देश को आगे की तरफ बढ़ाना, वो उद्देश्य पूरा हो, हम मोदी जी को सपोर्ट करते हैं.
बहुत 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 बढ़िया. इतना एक्साइटमेंट, इतना जोश हमारे इंडियंस में, मजा आ गया. घर वाली फीलिंग आ गई. बहुत मजा आया.
So I've been here since 2004 and I can see between 2014 and now the name of our country in many ways, the ease of doing business, the way India's brand has risen is incomparable in 4 years compared to I think 15 years that I've seen abroad. It is tremendous, the change, the respect in people and the love that people have for India and the understanding of our culture. It's never been before and I hope this continues forever.
On the agenda today for the Prime Minister is a meeting with the King of Sweden. Prime Minister Modi will then hold talks with the Swedish Prime Minister. India is working to strengthen Sweden's role as a key partner, especially in innovation and defence. Ahead of his visit, Prime Minister Modi had said that Sweden is a valuable partner in India's development initiatives. Several agreements are expected to be signed following the talks.
Other issues for discussion will be our excellent cooperation in the multilateral fora, including the United Nations, on which we speak with one voice on several issues. We will speak about skill development, generation of jobs for growth, Sweden is looking at the vast opportunities in India, the huge Indian market, and they want to be part of the India growth story. But what is important is that Swedish technologies, Swedish innovation is also equally significant for India as they dovetail very neatly into our flagship programs of Swachh Bharat, Skill India, Make in India, etc. So I would think that it is a win-win situation and we are natural partners. So there is a lot that is on the platter for discussion.
The two prime ministers will then attend a roundtable with Swedish CEOs. The big event of the Prime Minister's Sweden visit, the first India-Nordic Country Summit, takes place later today. The summit, titled India-Nordic Summit Shared Values, Mutual Prosperity, is a meeting with all heads of governments of 5 Nordic countries, including Denmark, Finland, Iceland and Norway. Cooperation in technology, investment and defense will be part of the main agenda. India needs the cooperation of Nordic nations in United Nations and other international fora. The Prime Minister will also hold separate bilateral meetings with his counterparts from the other 4 Nordic countries.
As far as the India-Nordic Summit is concerned, Prime Minister will be meeting with the Nordic leaders bilaterally also, but also again at a summit level. Again for discussion, there will be issues relating to technologies, relating to innovation, skill development, priority sectors such as healthcare, women empowerment, jobs for growth. These are all extremely significant issues on the agenda as they impact on the India growth story and how we can take forward our flagship initiatives with the help of these technologies and these innovations.
We are going to look at the complementarities between the Nordic countries and our requirements in terms of our social and development priorities. The Nordic Summit will discuss the broad agenda item of global security. And as you know, in the last couple of years, unfortunately, even European countries have been a target of terrorism and violent extremism. So this region and the European Union in particular is more sensitive to the issue now. And this will be an opportunity for us to sensitize them about the threat of terrorism and violent extremism and how these groups are active in our neighborhood, particularly in South Asia.
Denmark is particularly strong in certain sectors, which is renewable energy, maritime and shipping, agriculture and food processing. They are also very strong in water recycling, water conservation. So these are some of the unique advantages that Denmark has. And the Nordic Summit will provide a platform for Denmark to transfer the technical know-how and accelerate their investments in India.
Before wrapping up his Sweden visit, the Prime Minister will also address the Indian community later tonight. With inputs from Akhilesh Suman, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And from Sweden, Prime Minister Modi will travel to the UK later tonight. They will hold bilateral talks with his British counterpart, Theresa May. He is also scheduled to call on the Queen as well as interact with the CEOs of both the countries who are working on a new agenda of economic partnership. He will also launch an Ayurveda Centre of Excellence in London and welcome the UK into the International Solar Alliance as its newest member. On the 19th and 20th of April, Prime Minister Modi will participate in the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting being hosted by the UK, which will take over as the new chair in office of the Commonwealth from Malta. And after concluding his visit to Sweden and the UK, the Prime Minister will also make a brief stopover in London and meet German Chancellor Angela Merkel on 20th of April. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi will travel to UK from Sweden to attend the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting or CHOGM. On Monday, British Prime Minister Theresa May opened the Commonwealth Business Forum, making the start of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. And India is among 52 other member countries participating in the summit hosted by the UK in London to discuss issues facing the Commonwealth countries around the theme of Towards a Common Future. And ahead of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, Commonwealth Business Forum is taking place, which is also being attended by the Confederation of Indian Industry or the CII. The Indian business leaders are looking to highlight opportunities for the intra-Commonwealth collaboration across various sectors like technology, skills, agriculture and infrastructure. Now, according to the Commonwealth Trade Review 2018 released earlier this week, India is at the top recipient of the foreign direct investment from within the Commonwealth and is the second most lucrative source of investment within the organization. British Prime Minister Theresa May opened the summit with a message of using the organization to challenge the forces of protectionism and to promote greater trade. The UK, which is the chair in office of the Commonwealth for 2 years, also unveiled a range of new initiatives and networks to mark the launch of CHOGM.
Freer, easier trade means stronger economies, more jobs, more choice and lower prices. And that's true here in the UK, across the Commonwealth and around the world. With its unique scope and global voice, such a Commonwealth can set a powerful example to the world, one that demonstrates and underlines the importance of protecting free trade and the rules-based international order. We will also be funding a trade facilitation programme, supporting and providing technical assistance to selected Commonwealth countries in implementing the World Trade Organization's Trade Facilitation Agreement.
On to some other news, the World Bank has forecast a growth rate of 7.3% for India for this year and 7.5% for 2019 and 2020. The World Bank, in its twice-a-year South Asia Economic Focus Report in Washington, said that the growth is expected to accelerate from 6.7% in 2017 to 7.3% in 2018 and to subsequently stabilize, supported by a sustained recovery in private investment and private consumption. According to World Bank's report, India should strive to accelerate investments and exports to take advantage of the recovery in global growth. The World Bank noted that the country's economy has recovered from the effects of demonetization and the goods and services tax. And looking ahead, a return to business as usual and subsequent rebalancing of growth drivers towards investment could support the acceleration of the GDP growth to 7.4% by FY 2019. And the Standing Committee on Finance, chaired by senior Congress leader M. Virappa Moily, will question Finance Ministry officials today amid rising NPAs, incidents of frauds and governance lapses in the banking sector. The parliamentary panel had last met on 9th of March in the aftermath of the over 13,000 crore rupees fraud in Punjab National Bank. It had then asked the ministry to institute a comprehensive inquiry encompassing systemic elements in the case and submit its report within a month. As per RBI's financial stability report, gross non-performing assets or the NPA ratio of public sector banks was at 13.5% at the end of September last year, which is 1 percentage point higher than 6 months before that. Government had in February also announced a 2.11 lakh crore rupees recapitalization plan for PSU banks to revive the banking sector. And in good news to farmers who mainly depend on the monsoon, the country is likely to receive normal monsoon rainfall this year. The Meteorological Department on Monday predicted normal rainfall this year. It said that the monsoon will be 97% of the long period average, which is normal for the season. The Met Department further said that there would be good distribution of rainfall across the country. Monsoon is expected to arrive first in Kerala by 15th of May. The monsoon is considered normal if the average rainfall is between 96 to 104% of long period average, and last year the country as a whole had received rainfall that was 95% of its long period average.
मौसम विभाग ने ये इस साल का मानसून को 57% ऑल इंडिया लेवल में 97% ऑल इंडिया लेवल पे आकलन किया है। इसका मॉडल एरर है ±5%, और हमारा पूरा विश्वास है डेफिसिट मानसून इंडिया एक्सपीरियंस नहीं करेगी। और इसका जो सेकंड असेसमेंट है, हम जून में इशू करेंगे। एंड मानसून आनसेट केरला का जो आगमन होता है, जो वहाँ से दस्तक दे के पूरा इंडिया में मानसून कवर करता है, उसकी जो फोरकास्ट है मिडिल ऑफ मई में इशू करेंगे।
On to some other news, the first tranche of sovereign gold bonds for the current fiscal was launched on Monday. Now, these bonds will offer 2.5% annual interest to the investors. The bonds will be issued to eligible applicants on 4th of May. Here are all the details.
The first tranche of sovereign gold bonds for the current fiscal was launched on Monday. Applications will be accepted till April 20th for the scheme, under which bonds are denominated in units of 1 gram of gold. Minimum investment is 1 gram with a maximum limit of subscription of 500 grams per person per fiscal.
Interest in gold should increase looking to the international conditions. Of course, the gold has a direct nexus with the international position. In case there is a peace, there is a calm and everything is fine, then people do not have much interest in the gold. But if there is some disturbance which is going on and which is likely to happen, then people do start making investment in the gold. So looking to this fact, I believe that this time there should be a much better response in the gold scheme, and people can earn a lot of money in case they invest in the sovereign gold scheme of this government.
While the interest rate is taxable, investors have been exempted from any tax on capital gains from redemption of such gold bonds. The sovereign gold bond, gold monetization scheme and Indian gold coin were launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2015 as the government wanted to discourage gold imports and curb its damaging impact on trade balance. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
News from poll-bound Karnataka now, and filing of nomination papers for the 12th of May election to Karnataka Legislative Assembly will begin today with the issue of notification. And the last date for filing of nomination papers is the 24th of April, and scrutiny of nominations will happen on 25th of April. The last date for withdrawal of candidature is 27th of April. The ruling Congress, which is making a bid to retain power, has released a list of 218 candidates. Meanwhile, BJP and JDS are leaving no stone unturned to defeat the ruling party. BJP, which has determined to bounce back to power, has come out with Vision 150 to secure 150 seats in the 225-member House. The BJP released its second list of 82 candidates on Monday, taking the number of seats for which it has declared its nominees to 154. Counting of votes will be on 15th of May. The BJP on Monday announced its candidates for 82 more seats for the Karnataka Assembly polls, taking the number of seats for which it has declared its nominees to 154. The BJP released its second list of candidates a day after its Central Election Committee met to finalize the names of the candidates for the high-stake election. The BJP had declared its first list of 72 candidates on 8th of April. That included its chief ministerial candidate B.S. Yediyurappa and senior leaders K.S. Ishwarappa and Jagdish Shettar. Meanwhile, the ticket distribution in Karnataka has caused resentment in the Congress's camp. Congress workers have protested at many places at the party offices of the state. While the state leaders are dissatisfied over the ticket distribution, senior party leader K. Rahman Khan has expressed his unhappiness with the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. On Sunday, the party had released a list of 218 candidates for the election. It has not given seats to 12 sitting MLAs. Now, there are 15 female candidates in the list. It also includes the names of 7 JDS rebels.
उनको पावर दिया गया है और उनको ये भी मालूम नहीं है कि जो सीनियर्स हैं, एक्सपीरियंस है, उनसे कैसे बिहेव किया जाए। अब आ गए हैं क्या करने, पार्टी की सिस्टम अब वैसा होने जा रही है, मगर इससे पार्टी को बहुत नुकसान होगा। ये ऐसा एटीट्यूड जो स्टेट लीडर्स की है, उसको अगर हाईकमांड अगर कंट्रोल नहीं की, हाईकमांड अगर पार्टी की स्टेट की लीडरशिप कुछ एक बैलेंस सीनियर और दूसरे जो भी कैडर हैं उनको ले जाने के अगर नहीं दे तो मुश्किल पार्टी को ही होगी।
All right, my colleague Amritanshu Rai is now joining us live from Karnataka. Amritanshu, very good morning. So less than a month to go, and both the Congress and the BJP have announced their candidate lists for the 12th of May poll. So tell us more about the situation on the ground. How are both the camps gearing up for the crucial state election?
So as far as the nomination goes, yeah, it begins from today, and 18th is a gazetted holiday. So the Election Commission has been trying to send out messages to everyone that needs to be factored in, and also they are not going to accept any nominations on Sunday. 3 p.m. 24th is the last that nominations can be filed. That is the story with nominations. As far as the big faces that the BJP has and the Congress have launched, see, the entire criteria appears to be winnability, and that is where I don't think both the political outfits, the BJP and the Congress, have really been able to inject into the system some new faces. So both the parties have tried to go with faces who can actually win elections. So some of these faces that the BJP has launched includes Haratalu Halappa from Sagar, Murugesh Nirani from Bilagi, Katta Subramaniam Naidu, Shivanagar, and Kumar Bangarappa from Sorab. Yeah, Ashwarya.
All right. Thank you so much, Amritanshu, for all those updates there. So less than a month to go for the Karnataka Assembly elections, and apart from the temperature rising, of course, political temperature is also steadily building up in the state. And let's get you some other news now. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu on Monday addressed management students at the 9th convocation of IIM Shillong. And addressing the students, he said it is important to adhere to the values of honesty and integrity. Meghalaya Governor Ganga Prasad was also present at the occasion.
Addressing management students at the convocation of IIM Shillong, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said complete degeneration of values and absence of fear of law were obviously leading to deviant and crooked behavior among the people. Reminding students about the 7 sins mentioned by Mahatma Gandhi, he told the students it was important to adhere to values of honesty, integrity and truthfulness.
The GST is such a far-reaching transformational reform that is going to change the face of Indian economy, business. After some years, you will come to know the GST will be doing wonders, and it will really enhance the economy of the country. Once the economy improves, the living standards of the people also will improve, provided if the government follows correct economic policies.
The Vice President also advised students to never forget that they will not only impact the lives of people in their organizations, but also the lives of many others. Stating that qualities like gratitude, empathy and concern for fellow human beings are missing in the modern world, he said one must develop an attitude of caring and sharing.
And the absence of fear of law, obviously leading to deviant and crooked behavior among the people. Therefore, it is important to adhere to values of honesty, integrity, truthfulness, and adopt the best practices. Corporate ethics should not be violated at all.
The Vice President also told future managers that the quality of product, efficient service and ethical business practices are the hallmark of a positive global brand. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to the other top story of the day. India on Monday summoned Pakistan's Deputy High Commissioner and launched a strong protest over attempts being made to raise the Khalistan issue during the visit of Sikh pilgrims to Pakistan. Pakistan was called upon to immediately stop all such activities that were aimed at undermining India's sovereignty, territorial integrity and incitement of a disharmony in India. It was conveyed that such repeated attempts by authorities and entities in Pakistan to extend support to secessionist movements in India amount to interference in the internal affairs of our country. Let's get to all the international news. The Kremlin on Monday said that it still hopes for a dialogue with Washington despite US-led strikes on Moscow's ally Syria last week. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said on Monday that despite the damage to bilateral relations, it hoped that the US would initiate some kind of communication. Russian President Vladimir Putin had warned on Sunday that further Western attacks on Syria could bring chaos to world affairs. Meanwhile, Russia has also said that chemical weapons inspectors in Syria will be permitted to visit the site of the alleged chemical attack last week. The international team has been in the country since Saturday but has not been allowed to visit Duma. Russia also rejected US's allegations of tampering with evidence in the investigation over the alleged use of chemical weapons. The alleged chemical attack took place on 7th of April and it prompted military strikes on Syrian government targets by the US, UK and France a week later. Syria and its ally Russia deny any chemical attack took place, with Russia calling it staged.
И на среду планируется выезд специалистов ОСКО, поэтому Россия никакого препятствия не делает.
And on to all the sporting action, Kolkata Knight Riders beat Delhi Daredevils by 71 runs in the IPL match at the Eden Gardens in Kolkata on Monday. Chasing a target of 201 runs, Delhi Daredevils were all out for 129 in 14.2 overs. Glenn Maxwell made a 47 while Rishabh Pant scored 43 runs. And for KKR, Sunil Narine and Kuldeep Yadav claimed 3 wickets each. Earlier put into bat, Kolkata Knight Riders posted 200 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in their stipulated 20 overs. Nitish Rana's 59 and Andrew Russell's 41 were the top scores for KKR. For Delhi team, R. Tewatia claimed 3 wickets for 18 runs. And today, Mumbai Indians will take on Royal Challengers Bangalore at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. The match will start from 8 p.m. And that's it from me and my team in this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks so much for watching.